Coordinate or Cartesian plane. I thought it important to discuss the coordinate system because most students in grade 8, 9 and 10, they are not very clear about it, and at a later stage they are not in a position to ask their doubts and thereby they lose the interest. So here is a very basic 10 questions by which I will be explaining the coordinate plane, and I hope that all my students will get the gist of it. I'm asking questions, right, but basically answering and explaining you the answers. So don't take it as a test. Test will follow soon. Okay. Question 1. The axis divides the coordinate plane into 4 quadrants. Name them. So the first statement is really a definition kind of a thing, right? Now axis, which axis? Here in a coordinate plane we have 2 axes, the x-axis and the y-axis. X-axis is horizontal. So let me write here horizontal. And the y-axis is vertical. We also call this vertical axis and the horizontal axis. Now as you can see here, these are 2 lines perpendicular to one another, and so they will definitely intersect, right? The point of intersection is called the origin. Okay, and you can see here that it divides the plane. Think paper as your plane, right? So this whole plane has been divided into 4 parts, 1, 2, 3, 4. We call them quadrants, right? And we will name them also. For example, starting from this right corner and moving anti-clockwise, we number them 1, 2, 3 and 4. Normally the numbers are given in Roman letters. So we'll call them as quadrant. Let's say quadrant. So this is quadrant, and this rightmost quadrant is numbered as 1. So, and the numbers are given in Roman letters. So I'll just write 1 here, 2 here, 3, let me write it here, right? 3 here, and 4. Okay, let me put it here, 4. So these are the 4 quadrants in which x-axis and y-axis divide our plane. For quadrant, it is a long word, quadrant. So we can normally write Q here. Q2 will mean quadrant 2. It's not my question 2, okay. Roman letter. So we can say quadrant 3. It is not even necessary to write Q also. Just the letter. Right? 4. Roman 4 is the quadrant number. So when we are dealing with our Cartesian plane, and this is called the Cartesian plane, right? Divided into 4 quadrants. Then 1 Roman, 2 Roman, 3 and 4 means quadrants, right? If you write with Q or with quadrant 1, it is more explicit, right? But 1 will also do. Okay, so name them. So you can always name them as quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. Always remember that they go from the rightmost corner anti-clockwise, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have seen students in grade 11 and 12 naming this as quadrant 1. Why? Cast rules starts from here, C-A-S-T. And they think that is quadrant 1. No, this is quadrant 4. Okay. So the quadrants are 1, 2, 3 and 4. And this center point is called origin. Okay. Now let's look into question 2. A dot named with capital letter is used to represent a point on a graph. Write the points in quadrant 3. So these dots which I have placed here, right, these are always numbered and these are always labeled, you can say, with a capital letter like A, B, C, D and all I've given here, right? Now they say write the points in quadrant 3. So these represent the points on our coordinate plane, and in the next question I will explain you how to write them as an ordered pair. Here we are trying to see where do they lie and in which quadrant they lie. At present the question asks for quadrant 3. So in quadrant 3, which points do we have? In quadrant 3, so this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So we have A and B in quadrant 3. A and B. Correct. Now, how about this point H? Is H also in quadrant 3? For the time being, we will say no. Only A and B lie in quadrant 3. H is on the boundary of 3 and 4. At times, H can be considered in both quadrant 3 as well as in quadrant 4. But for our discussion and during the time you are listening to my videos, I will not consider H to be a part of quadrant 3. I have a reason for that. The reason is when I will teach you the ordered pairs, then I will say that in quadrant 3 all the points have both x and y negative values. What I'm trying to say is, do you see x-axis? This is origin. I'll teach you later. And here minus minus minus. Here minus minus minus. Correct? So the coordinates of these points are x and y, which are both negative. But here h becomes kind of 0. So I don't want to confuse my students at this stage and tell them, well, so for me, h lies on both 3 and 4, okay, but not only on 3. Think it like this for the time being, okay? So that is how I'm going to define it for all the lessons to come. It may be wrong for some, but that is how I'm going to do it, okay? So in quadrant 1, I will say point D, because E and C will create confusion to some definitions. So we will say E and C are on the interface of, E is on interface of 1 and 4 and C is on interface or the points joining, the quadrants joining, a common to 1 and 2, right? Again, common to means it belongs to both, right? So let us say the quadrants which just belong to quadrant, the points which just belong to quadrant 3 are A and B, okay? Let's move on from here. This will always be a debating question and let's not waste more time on it. I hope you understand. Thank you.